Hello and welcome back to my weekend update on the financial markets. My name is Jens. I have a couple of years of experience in the markets since I bought my first Bitcoin back in 2017. Today I want to discuss with you S&P 500 index, US oil, gold and Bitcoin via chart technique and analyze price so that you know what to do in the markets next days and weeks. Stay tuned and let's start directly with S&P 500 index. Here at the weekly time frame where each candle represents 1 week of price action, we can see that price made since the lows so far 3 major impulses to the upside. First impulse, first correction, second impulse, second correction, and now we are in the third weekly impulse to the upside. Is this weekly impulse already over? I don't think so. For that, let's drop down to the daily time frame where each candle represents 1 day of price action. Here we have an in-depth look at the last weekly impulse. So we can see that inside this weekly impulse, we had so far 1 daily impulse, 1 daily correction, and the second daily impulse. And at the moment, it looks like we are forming the second daily correction inside this third weekly impulse. Yeah, MACD crossed to the downside. On the 4 hour time frame, we can see it a little bit better. There, I was able to draw a 4 hour uptrend line. I got also broken to the downside. And from the decline, we are similar like the last daily decline. This would have been a good position to get inside the market. Maybe we draw also here this blue dotted downtrend line, and the break above that would have been a good buying opportunity to ride prices higher. I plan to do the same with this daily correction. Maybe we will reverse already at the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level, because also there is a little bit of price support, or we will decline all the way down to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, where price would probably meet the daily white uptrend line, and from there a reversal to the upside is also possible. But I will wait for reversal, a clear reversal to the upside, breaking this downtrend line, so that I'm sure that we are not seeing lower and lower prices and getting in a loss-losing position. Yeah, at the moment I am already invested with 20% of my capital into the S&P 500 index, and I will plan to scale up about over 30% so that I have a total 30% in the markets, buying here around another 10%. What should happen that I lose my bullish opinion about the market? I would lose my bullish opinion about the market if we break below the daily uptrend line, make a retest and break the retest to the downside. That would mean that we probably lose the overall uptrend line and change direction earlier than I thought. But as long as this is not the case, it's also not the most likeliest scenario. I would want to ride the third daily impulse to the upside, probably to the end of the weekly third impulse. And from there on, I would think about selling some of my profits so that I can see price decline without being too heavily invested, and then buying back in if we see a major weekly correction. That's it for the S&P 500 index. Let's switch over to US oil. With US oil, I want to start on a monthly time frame where each candle represents 1 month of price action. So a pretty old chart all the way back to 2007. Here we can see that we had a long-lasting downtrend that got broken to the upside in April 2021. Price got supported by the 200 moving average, and we have also an often tested support and resistance zone that also got broken to the upside, and currently price is just a bit above that level. If we drop down to the weekly time frame, we can see what happened after the break above the monthly downtrend line. We went into a weekly correction marked by this orange downtrend line. This one got also broken to the upside. We made a little retest that got supported by the weekly 200 moving average. Daily we see it a little bit better. There I was able to draw this daily white downtrend line that got broken to the upside in combination with the weekly downtrend, the 200 moving daily average, and also this smaller daily resistance zone. And yeah, from there price rised, but then it moved into this 3 angle that I was able to draw here in white dotted, white dotted, because it's a secondary trend line. but it seems like price at the moment will respect these lines, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points where it touched this line and respected it and bounced in the other direction. What normally happens with this kind of formation is that we move into this peak and then break out to one or another side, A to the upside or B to the downside. What's more likely, in my opinion, is more likely to break to the upside, because we have seen such a long downtrend of price that got broken to the upside, and now it's consolidating at this key level, and from there on I'm pretty sure we will see rising prices, and it also fits in the overall economic at the moment and geopolitical situation, even if I don't have that much of an eye on it, because everything of this information is already included in price history. So let's focus on that. Yeah. What can happen on the shorter time frame, now that you know my longer expectation of price movement? Yeah, on the 4-hour time frame, I said to you in my last update that I expect this ABC pattern. It occurred, like I said, and it got also broken to the upside. But like in previous videos, I want to see a setback to it and a break of this setback to the upside before being absolutely sure that we'll have a new uptrend. And yeah, price couldn't do that. We reversed and fall back and made lower lows from this formation. What can happen from here? Like I already said, it's not impossible that we'll see lower prices, especially that we broke these two lows. My most likely scenario will be that we see something like that, retest this resistance zone and fall all the way back down to this weekly downtrend line combination with the monthly support and resistance zone, and from there on build base and search back higher. But because we are in this daily triangle formation, it's also possible that we see price decline even lower. Sorry, it was a wrong arrow. Retesting again this white blue dotted uptrend line, and from there on build a base and continue higher. I'm thinking about reducing my oil position of 20% if we break below my initial entry point, so that I go out of this position with just the fees as cost and no real loss, and then rebuild my position lower, maybe even a little bit leverage, because then I can really good define my stop loss, which would be below this this white dotted uptrend line and this last low. And yeah, so risk is better to control, and then upside will be even more profitable than with a non-leveraged product. But I don't want to go too crazy. A 2x would probably do it. Yeah, that's it for US oil. Now you know my plan, how I want to react to price action. And if you have any question, drop it down below in the comment section. I will answer it as good as I can. And always think or know that you are your financial advisor and you are making your own decisions. Let's switch to gold. Gold also on the monthly time frame, there we can see a really old pattern. It's called the cup and handle pattern. And if that gets broken to the upside, that's really bullish. But yeah, it's not so helpful for shorter price action prediction. But so you know, on the monthly time frame, gold looks bullish, and I think we will see months, why not even years, of bullish price development for the metals. And let's drop down to the weekly. There we can see we are in a monthly and weekly uptrend supported by the 200 moving average. Price was able to break an often tested resistance zone to the upside. Since then, price wasn't stoppable, but then we moved into this smaller consolidation zone. You see it better on the daily time frame. Here we have the daily uptrend line. I first thought we will retest that line and then move higher from there. That would have been a good spot to enter the market, but now I think we just stay in this daily consolidation zone. And there's the news for this update. We broke it finally to the upside, which is bullish. What's also bullish is that we have seen this massive sell-off afterwards. I would have expected a more calm retest or higher prices for retesting this breakout. So yeah, what I think personally, is this bullish or is this bearish? I don't know yet. We have to react to price, not predict price. We have this 4-hour blue dotted downtrend line, and if we see a valid break above it, maybe retest and a break of the retest to the upside, we can be sure that this breakout is valid and that we will see higher price from there, that this was the correction and we don't need to see a deeper correction to this daily uptrend line. In this case, I would like to make out of my 10% position in gold 20% and scale it up so I profit from the overall uptrend. But if we break the blue dotted uptrend line, like I have drawn here, to the downside, that would be bearish, especially if we break it heavily to the downside, make a retest and break the retest back to the downside. That would mean that we will probably see a retest of this lower band of this consolidation zone, and could even mean that we will see a retest of this daily uptrend line. It wouldn't kill the overall uptrend if we stay above this daily uptrend line, but it would be definitely a more bullish signal if this thing holds and we will see higher prices from here. Yeah, do I want to sell this position? I don't know yet if we see lower prices below my entry point, but I will inform you and update you about that. But if we will see a retest of this daily uptrend line, that would be definitely also a point where I would think about scaling up my position. That's it for gold. If you have any question, drop it down into the comment section, and let's continue with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, not at all that we would need the monthly time frame for it. The weekly here is absolutely fine. We are above 200 moving average, way far away of this monthly uptrend line. The weekly orange uptrend line is the one who is interesting because something really unusual happened here, because we broke this existing and valid orange weekly uptrend to the downside and made a lower low in the cycle, and that's normally a bearish case. Why isn't it now? Let's drop down to the daily to explain it better. On the daily time frame, you can see we moved up, went into this daily consolidation zone. I already thought that here the downtrend is over and bought my first initial position with 20% of my account balance into Bitcoin and hold it the whole time. Then we retested the upper band of this range, and from there on, as we see prices decline, myself was clear. This wasn't a downtrend, this is a range. And yeah, I thought that we will see a retest of the lower band of the range and from there on build a base and move all the way back up, break above this consolidation zone and see new all-time highs. That wasn't the case. We broke all my 3 criteria to the downside. Daily support zone, 200 moving average, and weekly uptrend line. Really bearish case. I thought maybe this bullish scenario is over. It was unlikely, but there we have it. And I told you in my last update that I would sell my Bitcoin position of 20% if we see this retest broken again to the downside, because that would mean that we will see probably a climb to the last support zones of price around $43,000 or even in the worst case, all the way back to this monthly uptrend. Gladly, market participants thought also that Bitcoin is way too cheap at that price level and bought it all the way back up, all above my 3 criteria. And I said to you in my last weekend update that I would buy back in or increase my actual position to 30% if we see a break above these 3 things. And price did me that favor, the market did me that favor. And so now for us all, the bullish case of Bitcoin is still intact. I mark this at the weekly low. I can only define a weekly low technically if we see a new all-time high, but I think that will be it. And I can already also move it if I'm wrong with it, but I don't believe it. On the 4-hour time frame, what can we see? You can see where I bought. I bought, as I have seen, a cross of the 200 moving average to the upside. Then I was absolutely sure that this low is in and we are not going back below it. Then another good scenario where trade would have been possible, but I missed it, was this smaller consolidation correction. I was marking with my blue dotted downtrend line, and then we had a nice green candle breaking into the upside. That would have been good opportunity. It's still kind of good opportunity to get a trade because you can mark this low as your stop loss and ride prices higher, at least to the upper band of this range. There I will take profits with me, but at the moment, for me, myself, I stay with my 30% allocation in Bitcoin. I think that's a good spot to be in, and probably we will see higher prices from here, and also if we are able to break this range to the upside, finally new all-time highs. Yeah, that's it for Bitcoin. I will show you now my actual portfolio stats in my Excel sheet. Here you can see my actual positioning. I have still 20% cash in a bank to scale up my S&P 500 position and my gold position. Then I would be at 100%. Maybe I'll sell US oil a bit if we drop below my entry point, and Bitcoin at the moment over allocated with 30% already. That's nice, and I will hold that at the moment. Here you can see all my previous trades, and here I can mark you my last Bitcoin trade where I went long with additional 10% at the 15th of July this year. And yeah, I so far closed only 2 short-term positions. One was a short in S&P 500 and one a long in the gold market. Both went into profit, and since then I only opened up long-term positions that are still running. That's it for the weekend update. Have a great weekend and a good start. And next week we will hear and see us next weekend. Bye bye.